Yeah, g'day YouTubers. This is a video about changing the fluid on the automatic height control suspension of a Lexus LX570. I believe it's the same as the 200 series LandCruiser that's in perhaps Europe and maybe Japan, but in America and Australia and possibly Canada, this is the AHC suspension, or adaptive height control suspension, is only available on the Lexus. So that was the car raising just then. It takes a fair while to raise. I'll pause this video and I'll go back and I'll make it lower. Okay, so this should lower now. It doesn't take as long to lower. So that's it, as low as it'll possibly go. You can make it do that automatically every time you shut the car off. It'll lower down for you to get out, make it easier to get out of the car. And I don't know what other reason, possibly for if you had to go under something low. Okay, so I'll get on with showing you how to change the automatic other adaptive height suspension fluid. Yeah, g'day YouTubers. I've got a Lexus LX570, which is basically a 200 series LandCruiser, and it's got the adaptive height control suspension that allows it to lift up and down. You can select the height there on a little switch, and it makes the car go up and down. It's run by hydraulics. On the earlier model LX470, the hydraulics unit was under the bonnet or under the hood here, but in the LX570, the next model, the hydraulics unit is, well, it's actually under here, and you get to it through this little hatch here. You need a 10mm socket, and you just put it on there, and away you go. I've loosened it off here, so it should come off pretty easily. And you remove that little panel from behind the rear wheel, the rear right wheel. And in here, I'll use a torch. In here, that's the hydraulic tank here with the pump underneath it there. And this part here is the filler tube. The level is over on the far side of the reservoir. You can't really see it there, it's pretty hard to see. But that's where you check the level, right over the far corner there to the right hand side of where the tube goes in. I believe that it's supposed to show maximum level when it's in normal height. That it should be up to maximum level. When you lift the suspension to the full height, the level goes down to minimum, and of course when you drop it, because the fluid runs back to the tank, it goes up above the maximum height. So the way that you bleed the suspension, what I did, I put the car up on some 3-inch or 90mm timber blocks under the tyres. I drove the car up onto them, and that allowed me a little bit more height underneath the car to get underneath to work, because the accumulators, the bleeds for the accumulators, it's a bit hard to see, are actually, the rear one is back here somewhere, back there. I can't really see because I'm holding the phone, and the front one is there. So that's underneath the steps on the side of the car. So yeah, basically under here and under there. And so what I did, I lifted the car up, as I said, on some blocks of timber so that I could get under there. I used essentially like a brake bleeding kit, which is just a bottle with a hose on it, a rubber hose that I could attach to the end of the bleeder. You need a 10mm spanner, and I undid the bleeders starting at the front right side, undid the bleeder. The car lowers down, so you've got to be aware of that, the fact that as you undo the bleeder and release the fluid, the car's going to lower, so make sure that it's not going to crush you or the bleeding bottle. I think about maybe half a litre of fluid came out each time. It's under a fair bit of pressure, so you want to be pretty careful of that as well. And then I used this little utility pump, hand pump. I think they're an Australian made one actually, these ones, yeah, Tom Thumb utility pumps. And I used that tin that it's sitting on, that paint drum, and basically hooked it up, cable tied the line so that it was in the filler pipe. And yeah, after I dropped out the fluid from the front right actuator, I just let it go down until it sort of, the suspension dropped all the way down, and I didn't release any more pressure after that. I just let the fluid flow out. As soon as the fluid began to stop flowing, I tightened up the bleeder again, came over here, I started the car up, lifted the suspension up on the car to the normal height again, let it all level out, and then I pumped, I think it was about half a litre into the reservoir bottle to take it up to the maximum height again. Then I went ahead and did the left-hand front actuator, and then the right-hand rear actuator, and the left-hand rear actuator. I'm not sure if that's the correct method, but a couple of things that I read on some forums said that was the right way to do it, and so I did that, and it seems to have worked so far. So yeah, basically that's how you do it. I'll put some photos on this video. It's not a very good video, I realise, but yeah, that's the way to do it. I think the 200 series LandCruiser also has the AHC suspension in countries other than Australia and America, but in America, perhaps Canada and Australia, it's only the Lexus LX570. I'll start it up, and the suspension is currently in the high position, so I'll drop it down to select low. It won't do anything with the door open. I'll shut the door and the suspension should drop. A bit hard to see there, but yeah, it's dropped down. So now it's sitting right down. And I'll select high. And you should be able to see it slowly pump its way up. Takes a fair while. Back goes up, front goes up. And you can hear the hydraulic pump running here. That should cut out in a second. Taking its time. Oh, there you go. The pump just cut out then. So I'll shut the car down. I'll open the door. Just turn the lights off. This is the actual Toyota AHC suspension fluid. It's the same as the LX470. I asked the dealer. Apparently the LX570 used the same fluid. The dealer did tell me that you actually need to use a scan tool or a Toyota TechStream software, or I don't know what Lexus is, I assume it's the same thing, to reset the suspension afterwards, but I haven't found that to be the problem. I don't know if that's the case only if you release all of the pressure out of the hydraulic accumulators that are next to the actuators, or whether they just want you to go in there and get it serviced. I believe also you cannot do this with the wheels hanging. It has to have the weight of the vehicle sitting on the wheels to obviously, I suppose, push the fluid back out. So anyway, that's my video. Probably not a real interesting one for a lot of people, but that's how it all works. I'm going to put it back together and take it out for a spin.